everybody. How are we all doing? Marcus, what is that? Comic Art Live will have the good stuff. We always have the good stuff. 10 times in a row we have the good stuff this weekend. But we've got a fun show tonight. We're going to be talking to Hakes. We actually had 2 people in the green room before the show started, and they've dropped, but we have 2 more still in there. So I'll bring them on in a second. But I hope everybody's having a good day. It's been a busy day around here, but lots of good stuff happening, and the hits are going to keep on rolling. So we're going to bring in at least the 2 gentlemen who are in the green room still, and they're probably the 2 most important, and they are Alex and Kelly. Hey, gentlemen.
What's going on?
How's it going?
Yeah, what happened to Todd? He just disappeared too?
Yeah, as soon as I dropped him out of the,
he'll probably come back here in a second if that's allowed.
Hey, we got to even out the guys with rock and roll T-shirts on versus the guys without. So we need Todd back in there.
Well, he needs to get here soon because I'm gonna get a pink slip ready.
Hey, who's gonna write all those flowery descriptions on all of the auction lots?
Next man up. We'll find somebody. We're good.
Oof.
Man, it's brutal. I don't know if I could hang at the Hakes.
It's all the cold weather that we're getting up here that you don't have anymore.
Everybody's a little spiteful and full of, as my mom used to say, what, piss and vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh man, well, it's been a while since you guys have been on camera with me. I was looking, it's the usual. It's like every 4 months we get to hang out. So we're back at it, and I see that guitar in the back of your office, Alex. Has that been there since you got it?
No.
Yes.
No.
What, you mean in my office?
Yeah.
No. Actually, this is the first time that I've even held it since it's been here for quite a while. We'll get into that later, but this is really Scott Mussel's baby. He's our director of Americana, but he also handles the music division for the most part. Kelly jumps in too, but so concert posters and so forth. Mm-hmm. And he's been working with us for about a year to land this guitar. So this was a very long, arduous process that has already paid off as it's at $100,000 as we speak.
Yeah.
I saw that when I loaded up the slides right before I got things going here. $100,000 for it already, and I watched the video too. It was kind of cool. Get a little backstory on how you got it. And obviously, we'll talk more about that when we get to it. But hey, the other rock and roll brother is maybe
there he is. Todd.
I don't know what happened. Kicked me off.
It's all right.
I thought it might have been me. Maybe use the kick from studio button, but I didn't think I did.
Yeah, you should have heard what Bill said about you while you were here.
Well, I have it on YouTube. I hear everything.
Somebody talked about filling out pink slips when you weren't here.
I heard that one.
He's got the red
Alex
pen.
out.
Man, usually you reserve that kind of stuff for Sean, but he's not here.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I got to ask before we get started, Todd, are you a Led Zeppelin fan? Is that? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm a general music fan. Yeah.
All right, well, I know you're into mixed drinks and purple Prince. Let's go over there, Alex. How long you been a Prince fan?
1982.
You saw him in concert?
That's you've seen when I've done one of these from my music room. Mm-hmm. I have 14,000 albums, and I listen to every style of music. But Prince is my number one. I got to see him 5 times. Once in a small club. And you can't really tell because the office is covered, but it's purple. I've got a Purple Rain poster over here, so it's pretty much everything I do is for Prince. And this goes into OAX last year, where Mike Allred did a commission for me, and that was the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit to me of music, and that is Miles Davis, the Father, Prince, the Son, Jimi Hendrix, the Holy Spirit, and he did an amazing piece, which is on that wall over there. So, yeah.
Very, very cool. I do remember that artwork. Yeah, the closest I've come to a Prince concert was seeing a cover band in Vegas about 10 years ago. And they were pretty good. They even had a band. They had a Morris Day and the Time cover band open for the cover band.
Oh, cool.
Have you seen Morris Day and the Time? They they hang around Prince every once in a while. I thought back in the day.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, yeah. And then in both movies, in Purple Rain and in Graffiti Bridge, and he produced their stuff and wrote. In fact, their biggest hits he wrote. So.
If
But
you let him go, he'll.
I was gonna say if we don't start talking about art, then everyone in the chat can say this is an art show, not a music show.
It'll be the entire episode.
I've had a pretty boring day today, so it's like I had to like break out of my shell and talk about just about anything. It's been 150% art today, so for me talking about music is a diversion for a moment. But hey, I do have the catalog here. I don't know if if I'm the only one in the chat or not, but I do have a copy of the Hake catalog. I got that.
Nice.
I got it at the end of last week. I haven't gone through the whole thing yet, but they're always fun and they are collectible. So if maybe I should bring these to OAX and whoever ends up, I don't know who all's going yet. Maybe it's probably not decided, but I can get you guys to sign these, make them into collector's items.
Please do.
This guy.
Kelly's a definite, right?
Yeah, I will be
Kelly
there.
Todd, yeah. I'm still, here's the issue, and I love the show, and I don't say that about. I would say I don't say that about any shows. No offense to anyone else out there. But in that time frame of January, we are doing something we've never done, and that is we'll have the Jeff Jacob Star Wars action figure auction just ended, right? Getting ready to go right into an online auction of comics and cards and political, and getting ready to go to the printer with our March catalog auction. So to take one of us out of the office at that time is not ideal. To take two, to take three, big deal. So we're working on it. We were going to have a conversation this week about the show schedule, and I got postponed till next week. So we'll see. If I can, I will be there. If not, the booth will be in very good hands with Kelly and Todd. And if not, you'll report back to me and tell me what they did wrong.
Well, I would do that anyway. So we have, we have security cameras around. I can show you every time they have their feet up on the table or we're going in there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. All right.
When Alex is gone, I'll say something totally different. But he's here now, and I know how ruthless he is. He might be able to contact my boss and get a pink slip written for me. So
he would find a way.
Yes.
Life finds a way. Right.
All right. Well, let's get into the auction of the moment. Now, I know I got the dates here. So it's the 19th and 20th when they start closing. So what date is the art segments of the auction closing?
So this will be next Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday is always the historical, political, sports, and then Wednesday will be the day that has the art as well as the comics, action figures, all the entertainment stuff. So movie, TV, music. But art will be next Wednesday.
The 20th, Wednesday the 20th.
20th.
Yes.
And about, let me see, I'm looking at some of the end times. So pretty much beginning around now, right? Around 9 o'clock, or is it a little bit earlier than that?
9 o'clock we start the 20-minute countdown clock. So at between 9 and 9:20, if things don't receive a bid, they close at 9:20. If they do, those individual items are open again for 20 minutes, and that goes until things wind down to the last item going 20 minutes without a bid.
And easy to register. You've got alerts and outbid notices and all that stuff. And you have text alerts now too, I believe.
Yes, we do. Correct. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very easy to keep track of the lots you're most interested in. All right. So why don't we dive into some of this stuff? I know you guys picked out a selection of pieces for us today. Yeah. And let's see, I've got this piece is from Steve Lytle, that has done quite a bit of Marvel work over the years. And so this is from MCP, got a Wolverine with these curved claws in there. And this is from issue 114. It's not too bad.
Yeah, so this is people always ask where the items come from and how do you get them, and we never know what's going to show up from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
And we were contacted by somebody actually in York, Kelly, correct?
Yeah, he was from York.
Yeah,
from our hometown, York, PA, and showed us a few pieces that were okay. And we said they're okay. It's, here's what we're really looking for. And he said, well, I have some more. Can I just bring the stuff to show you? And so Todd was there, and they're going through a portfolio, and there's a page that's nice and a page that's nice. And then all of a sudden he pulls out this cover. So
it was the last thing he showed us.
Yeah.
It was. So, there are a few pages that you'll see coming up here he had a
Yeah.
Kirby page you'll see coming up. I'm forgetting more things will show up later on tonight, but it really was like it was almost an afterthought of his.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I had this cover.
Mm.
It was I don't know if he was just filling out the room or what he wanted to do, but after he talked to us, he decided this was the time to let it go. And
the moral of the story on our part is you never know what anyone's going to have. So we always do our due diligence and explore it. And if it's something, even if it's a Beanie Baby, right? And for some reason we get recommended Beanie Babies all the time. I don't, Kelly, if you want to speak on that or not.
I'll just plead the
You're going to
fifth.
hold your tongue? Okay.
We'll save it for the baby episode.
Yeah. So, but seriously, we say, no, we don't. But what do you have? And there have been times where we've been offered something that is just worthless. And then they'll say, oh, well, I also have this stack of comics. And they'd say, Amazing Spider-Man 1 will be in it. So it's really worth it just to take your time, speak to whoever that potential consignor is and see what they do or don't have.
Right.
I mean, so a collector like this, I don't know who they are, but is their backstory they've been collecting for a long time or picked these up?
Yeah, he was an artist. This isn't the first time. He was an artist himself who showed us some of his art. I recently met a lady with the same situation. She was an artist herself and really became interested in the artists around them and went to Comic-Cons and loved comics growing up and got into doing art. Really, I mean, a lot of the times they want to work for Marvel or DC. That's like, one of their main dreams. They don't get that far, but they collected this art in a sense of just pure passion. And he was doing it from I think this 80s on up. He was collecting art, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Didn't he also, he worked, did he work York Graphics, Todd? Is that what he said? I thought he worked.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he worked, anyway.
No, did you go to the same art school as him? Or
Same art school, that's
what it was, wasn't
Maybe
it?
that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he was just a very fascinated with art and just was a very passionate collector. And,
Well, and I think he just hit the spot where he said, he just, wasn't disinterested in art, but he just wanted to pass these items on to someone else.
Right.
So,
Right.
it was just time to kind of do the handoff.
Well, you can't take it with you, right? As they say. So at some point you have to.
I think we're all trying to, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but I get that. I'm just always curious on the collector side of things. The stories that kind of get
Every person,
things go.
Yeah, every situation, every person is different. Everyone.
Yeah.
It's never. You think especially when you think you've heard it all. You've never seen it all. You've never heard it all.
No.
And every single conversation is different. So that's. You never know what someone's out of their portfolio at the very end of the conversation, and then this cover, which I think is a great cover if you love Wolverine, which we're all fans here, so it's a great cover.
Well, the weird timing was we just had a Ghost Rider cover from the same series, and we hadn't had one before, and then this comes in right after it. So it just becomes one of those, what are the chances that, the same title?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. So
and close by as well. So that's, you just never know. But I mean, that whole Northeast area, if anywhere around New York City, there's probably a lot more art and collections and hands like this that you just wouldn't expect. But they're there just because they have proximity to pick them up at a show here or there, or get it from a friend, or who knows. And this is great. It's always good to see something new on the market.
And also artists. There's plenty of artists in Pennsylvania and New York, like you said, you are nearby.
All right, so what we got here? Punisher, Batman Hero, illustrated comic book cover from John Romita Jr. Got some bids on this one already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this came from the Guzzo collection, Gary Guzzo, which we had it. We split his art up over a couple auctions, and this is the second round. And just what a great mix of characters. And what is the story? Did you look into this, Todd, of why they mixed? How they got the permission?
This was a book, a series they did where they, it was the crossover with Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
So for this magazine, they decided to make that the cover, and then I don't know if he designed it as a wraparound cover, but then they changed it to a fold out like a gatefold cover where the inside folds out. So then they flip the image for the actual printed cover for the magazine.
That took a little research on our part because it looked like a cover obviously when it came in, and we thought it was a cover to the. I think was it a one shot, Todd?
I kind of think it might have been.
But anyway, we saw that cover. It wasn't it, and we did.
I knew right away about the book, but then I wasn't finding anything. I thought, well, maybe it was an ad, or like a poster, like for a comic store. Maybe it was, something else, and didn't have any luck. And then we just got lucky that another one of our associates figured out it was a Hero Illustrated cover.
Yeah. Which is a publication that Gary worked on.
Right.
Gary Guzzo.
Yeah, a lot of the things that Gary has, rest in peace, a lot easier if he was here to tell us what they were.
Yeah.
There's still some things that he has. Some unpublished pieces and a lot of things that were in his archives that are just, at this point, unknown projects that never came to fruition. But it's a question from Brian. Is there any kind of existing original art collector community in Pennsylvania? That's a good question. I would say there is, not a public like meetup or anything that I know of, but I'm sure there is. There are small conventions for comic books and toys and collectibles all over the state. Even one in there's a couple in York, Pennsylvania. There's a couple in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Hershey. So I'm sure there is. No, it's not the Amish meetup. That's a different kind of art. Thank you, Marcus. But if they ever do have an Amish comic art convention, I'm sure we'll set up. So.
Yeah, Marcus will be the first to know. Well, they lucked out that all of the characters' costumes in this piece were were easy to flip the whole thing around and not make different, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what dancing inks too. It's a little fuzzy on the screen, but yeah, looks that just adds a little bit of extra to it. Always good to have Klaus on it. Klaus will be at OAX if you guys need anything signed. It's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, let's see. This one had a few bids on it too already.
Yeah, 2750. Oh, that's got legs. That's got room to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then we have actually 5 amazing Spider-Man dailies. I'll just open them up and go through them that way here. Looks like they've all got some bids on them.
Yeah, so we had 5 last time, all from within this date range, and 2 different stories, I think, Todd, this covered.
Yeah.
And again, from the Guzzo collection, and another nice selection. We'll flip through them and see, but great content. Some with Spider-Man in every panel.
It's not a bad one in there, no.
No.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice one. You get Spidey in 2 panels.
And we kept the estimates the same as last time. We had it 2,000 to 5,000. I think every one last time went over 5,000, if I'm not mistaken. Some even around the 10,000 range.
200, but one was that was
it
was a good panel. Yeah. These are just great.
Yeah, I don't have a John Romita Sr., but got a nice Savick Sinet strip. They're always fun. I think they're kind of strips are still a little underappreciated out there for the average comic art collector, but they're still fun to have. We all grew up on strips in the paper Sundays and everything.
Yep.
So it's just as nostalgic as the comics are. Let's see what this next one looks like. You get Spidey in all 3 panels on this one.
Look at that. I don't even think I saw the selection this time, guys. Sorry. This is great.
Yeah, this is all the web slinging you want.
Yeah, look at that.
No, you were busy with action figures, so Todd forged ahead and picked.
I was. I have been knee deep in action figures for forever. But a little break of something that will be teased later on. But yeah, this
is a good one. You're right. All the web slinging you need and a thwap landing on a pole. You get a subway car or whatnot in there as well, or a streetcar of some kind. But that's a really nice piece.
Well, and this is a good alternative to someone who has a little bit of money to spend, but you're not going to touch a page close to the strip. And the strip, I mean, it's great Ramita,
Mm-hmm. So that's the third one. Even Spider-Man can't get through the bars. That's insane. Spidey can always. He's got the power of a spider. He should be able to rip right through that.
Well, they devised a spider-proof trap.
I see that. Unbelievable. Only we can destroy him. Okay.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, no, a bunch of hippies. Yeah, they're the ones who can do it.
That's right.
Dang. All right. Well, you never know what occult powers they may have. So, again, so from 1980 on that one, let's take a look at the. There we go. Oh, there you go. Great last panel on that one.
Yeah.
Huh.
And what do we got for the last one? Not bad. You talk too much. Yeah, that's a good one. So 2 bids on that one. Yeah, classic stuff.
Yep.
Like you say, you're not going to get a published OA page from Ramita Senior for anywhere near what you can get a daily or even a Sunday for. So not too bad.
Yeah.
And continuing with the Spidey, we got a Ron Lim Spider-Man cover here. Scott Hanna inks. Let's see. Crime Master. Yeah. We're sensing a theme in this auction.
Well, I tried to also break things down. So we got the Marvel section is first. There'll be a couple pieces from artists that we have Marvel and DC.
Mm-hmm.
One to DC, couple other publishers, and then spoiler alert, we'll have a few non-art items. So anybody that's not into that,
It's only a couple.
This is a warning, yeah, right at the right before we start.
Yeah. What year is this one?
Oh,
2017. I see it there. I see
I
it.
thought it was a little bit more recent.
It's a modern piece, yeah. So nice, clean cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the villain in this one, but what was it again? Master Plan. Huh. DC. Okay, it's on DC Vertigo artboard even. That could be a first for a piece of Marvel art. You never know. Then what do we got here? We have a Tom Lyle Overstreet Monthly cover. Lots of bricks, lots of detail on this one. Classic Lyle artwork. Screams 1990s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Was this from the same collection as the other one, Todd? I mean, most of this art was.
This one here is Guzzo.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Guzzo. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, this came from Guzzo. The last one was the other more modern collection that came in.
Okay.
This one also took a little more. This one take a little more research than just
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just doesn't. Yeah.
Well, it looked like a trading card at first, and then I'm like, that doesn't quite add up. And then there was a transparency, I think, with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that has to be like a cover proof or something. So then managed to track it down.
Yeah, there may or may not have been a moment when you were kind of saying under your breath, God, why couldn't you just write on the back of this what it was? Gary?
I can't say this enough. I know art collectors don't want to do it, but if you just took a graphite pencil and wrote small on the back of everything you own, what it was used. There's so much like unlabeled art out there that it could get lost.
Yeah.
And that's a real shame.
Yeah. There is.
It also doesn't do it justice to offer it and say, unknown. I mean, it really does help
Oh, that's the worst.
Both the collectors who want to know where it's from, and also the consigners. It's going to bring more when you say it's a published piece. So
I did just use the Google image search on a piece, and it worked right away. Sorry, that was someone just said that in the comments.
Yeah, sometimes that works.
We do use that, and sometimes it's black and white looking for a color piece, and it just doesn't. It just won't find it. But yeah.
Well, I work with some artists that don't ever sign anything. Like Mike Oming, we did a sale with him a few weeks ago, and he's done all that work on Powers, and he doesn't write anything on it. So I can't. So even when I'm helping him sell it, I can only say it's a Powers page from this storyline, and it's like 4 to 6 issues or something, because he doesn't remember either, and he doesn't write it down. I mean, Brian Hitch is the same way. I'd say 95% of the pieces that I have from Brian don't have the story written on it, and it's hard to track down issues and pages sometimes. It's but it's commonplace.
Well, I can't really keep up with it, but what I do sometimes is if I get a page of something that's not an instant, you know what it is, I'll go and find it online, print out just a piece of paper with the cover and the printed page on side by side, and then I store that with the art in my portfolios. Then I know exactly what it came from.
Right. Well, I'll be the first to admit that I have taken a pencil and written on the back of art before.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Even for my own edification. I'm like, it's okay. It's on the back. I'm usually writing it right at the bottom. But
as long as it's small and indiscreet, you're not doing any injustice to the art by identifying it. You're helping it along.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm with you there. I'm tired of sticking Post-it notes on things. That's what I was doing for a while. And I'm like, that's just stupid.
Yep.
Somebody can erase this. It's on the back, and no one's going to care.
Yeah, sure.
All right, now we have a supervillain team-up team from Bob Hall. Everybody loves supervillain team-up pages. Very memorable stories from back in the day.
Yeah, those were great.
I don't remember where this one came from.
This was I think they contacted me, and it was a one-off page. That's all we got from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic page.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think I saw this one. No,
there's a number of great pages from this issue with Doom and Magneto, and this is right up there with the best. It's great content.
You got Cap, you got Avengers, Magneto, Doom. This is it's kind of got it all. Yeah, that's really nice. And again, one page comes in, so you never know. It's like, where do they get it from?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I just had it'll be the next auction, and Alex Ross page that he won in a contest. That's all he has. One pretty decent Alex Ross page, and it's just that's it. And it's, and we'll gladly take it, but that's that's one way you can win it in a contest or however you get it. It's just why someone has just one page is always interesting.
Right. All right. What do we got next here? A Defenders 24-page by Sal Buscema. Nothing like a good Son of Satan page to usher out the Halloween season. Good.
This came from the Wolverine cover person. Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember this. Yeah. Yes, it did.
Yeah. Well, and again, as far as Son of Satan goes, what more could you want? I mean, you have the fiery kind of held chariot at the bottom, and just some great poses. His trident. It doesn't necessarily speak heavy defenders, but it's right there.
Also, this has to be in Todd's collection because of what it says in the very bottom.
Yes, I saw. Yes, of course. James Bond is back in the deadly hands of Kung Fu.
I think it has to now. It's pretty much been decided. So,
What's the affinity for James Bond, or is it Master of Kung Fu?
I collected James Bond toys for years, and I'm a big fan of the movies.
Yeah. There's something else that had James Bond. Was this it? I thought there was something else that had James Bond on the bottom of it somewhere that we had piece of art. Anyway, I forget.
It might be the other. It might be the other Kung Fu page we have.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right, so where are we going to? What is this? We've got where is it? All right, here we go. We got the file. Oh, it's 20 pages. So what is this? A full story?
This is like I was saying from Gary Guzzo. He has many unpublished, and his art. Basically we acquired his entire archive, which includes unpublished pieces.
This is sort of a comic Dead Sea Scroll, because this was supposed to be the first Fantastic Four graphic novel, and it was started and then I think stopped, and then they tried to pick it up, and I don't think it was ever completed.
Yeah.
So this is sort of a lost relic.
Yeah. It happened more than we think.
Yeah.
I would imagine most of it, after a while, isn't kept as long as Gary kept it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the stuff just got thrown in flat files in the bullpen and stuck aside, and maybe somebody would visit it once in a while, and after a while they're like, get rid of this. And
it was in the way because it was never published.
And for those that don't remember, we talked about Gary Guzzo last time. He was one of those guys in the bullpen. I mean, he was during the 80s, I think into the 90s. He and who then became his wife, were in the bullpen, interacting with all the artists, the writers, Stan Lee, everybody. So that's why we say it's a shame that Gary didn't identify some of this stuff, because his knowledge was deep and extensive. And I had long conversations with him, and some things I remember, and not in the context of ever getting his art, just talking about being, we're both collectors and so forth. So he really could have, in a second, told you anything about any piece in his collection. And unfortunately, he's not here to do that anymore. So we're trying to do the best for his legacy and do the research and give you as much information as we can.
Like you said, the bullpen flat files, well, these came from his flat files. Like that's what it was. It was a hallway of drawers of where all this stuff came from. So,
well, it's cool. I mean, unfortunately, not published, but still, it's fine. It says Mark Bright and Al Milgram worked on it.
Yeah, that's what we could find about it. There's a little bit on the web about the story behind it, and that's how we kind of tracked down what we had for it.
Well, it's got a few bids on it already, and more than 8 days remain or around there. So, no, it's cool. There were always like file copies of things laying around. You never knew if they get published or not. So, just stuff that they had in reserve. So this just happens to be one that didn't make it all the way through, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a couple Kirby pages here. I can see it's a Commandy and a Jimmy Olsen.
I believe the Commandy came from the Wolverine cover, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. Even if this one wasn't signed, it was pretty obvious. It's Jack Kirby. Yeah.
Well, Commandy's like kind of one of his definitive Marvel projects.
Yes.
That something else he created at DC, as opposed to the superhero stuff at Marvel. And then this is basically sort of the basis for the Thundar the Barbarian concept, for the cartoons, sort of the post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah.
But at least Commandy's in there. He's in sort of a prison wagon being hauled away, and there's a sort of a breakout.
Yeah, if you go back to the last panel,
right?
That's Todd's expression. Anytime I tell him to change something in the catalog layout,
Hey, I you know what? No offense, but I felt like Todd it was about 2 weeks ago when you asked me to change something in the catalog layout. But we'll talk about that. But I felt like Todd, like I had to be a little editorial myself. But anyway, last panel here, Todd, a moment in infamy.
Oh no, yeah, that went over my head. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I can tell you. You were like,
yeah. Okay, I got you. I definitely won't be at OAX this year.
Hey, come on, man. It was all. Hey, I took it in stride. But yeah, it was funny when I got to this with the last panel. I'm like, the last panel makes this page, right? To get Commandy at it, and it looks over stepping out of that thing. But no, I thought it was great. So it's a good one. And you see something like this, it reminds you. I mean, this is the era of Kirby that when I was seeing his work, I'm like, why is Kirby still out there? And I look at this, I'm like, I wouldn't mind owning a page from this era of Kirby. It's very definitive. It lasted a very long time. Commandy is something that I think a lot of people identify Kirby with, even though it's later in his career. It's something that everyone knows now. How important it was for him. So I see a page like this, and it's the first thing I think is like, shoot, yeah. One of these days, a Commandy page needs to be in my collection. Alberto's complaining he didn't get a catalog.
I see that. I was just about to. Alberto, just email hakes@hakes.com. We'll send you one.
Yep.
Alberto, we saw a Captain America appearance in a page a little bit earlier. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, there's some Captain America art out there.
Yeah, there is.
And once you're on the list and become a bidder, as long as you're an active bidder, the catalog comes free every single auction.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going over to some Jimmy Olsen artwork here, issue 143. Hit the deck, you sawed off squirts, I'm taking off. Yep. Not bad. In case of success. Yes, nice to know. That is true. You guys have always said that. If you're an active bidder in Hake's auctions, you'll always get a copy of the catalog.
If you go 3 auctions without bidding, that's just that's our way of. This is not a cutoff, but I mean we have to keep the numbers to a decent amount. But if you're active within 3 auctions, you will get it.
Yep.
So.
Do you guys print these like in PA or something? You seem to turn them around really
crazy.
quickly.
Yeah. Print them in York, in our backyard, at a company that Todd used to work for.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah.
Keeping it local.
Yeah.
Full circle.
No, York Graphic Services, they do a great job for us.
Fantastic job.
Yeah, we love them.
Well, that's awesome. I figured it had to be because I felt like I got the catalog rather quickly from the point you told me it was going to print.
Their turnaround. That's one other thing why we like them. Their turnaround is crazy. We will send the files to them on a Monday through a Wednesday. So the final files get to them Wednesday. We have that catalog back in our hands to mail the following
in a week
Wednesday. So it is 1 week from turning everything over to them for them to print it. They send it out to a bindery. They send it back to them and get it to us all in a week.
I think the bindery is that in Maryland.
I think so. They've used different ones, but I think it's the one they use now it's either Jersey or Maryland. Yes.
Yeah. So it still has to go there and come back.
Yeah.
And then, right. Yep.
That's incredible. I would keep using them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll never hear that kind of service ever anymore.
No.
All right. So now we have a Deadly Hands of Kung Fu and a JLA page, both by Perez.
Mr. Perez.
So what do we got here? This is I don't see any mention of James Bond on here, but got one heck of a
I could be picking this up. I'm not sure if it's true or not. The other James Bond mention, I think it was last auction, but
this is just a cool Sons of the Tiger page. Nice action.
It's a great middle panel. That's great.
Taking out the cops.
It's WAP and Walk. Those are the two. WAP and Walk.
This is great. You know what year it is?
75.
75. Really. Yeah, it's a thigh gap that we call it that. Usually it's reserved for the lady artwork, but even the guys, Spider-Man, he's half the time when he's swinging around, he's got a thigh. Yeah, but it is what it is. We measure the beauty of certain art pieces.
Very, very literally, yes. Crotch shot. Thank you.
Yeah. What was the other one? Oh, that's right. It was a JLA page, right? This is from issue 194. Look at that.
Hmm.
Nick Barucci should like this one. It's got a lot of flash on it.
Mm-hmm. Sean is watching, by the way. He was very upset that we talked about Cap for 30 seconds and he wasn't here to be a part of it. So it's to you, Sean. Sorry you couldn't be here. There you go.
We don't plan to talk about any color guides tonight, though, Sean. Just letting you know, since you're not on camera with us.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. We don't have any this time. So
What? Then that means
Yeah.
Sean's not doing his job if you don't have any color guides in the auction.
That's not the only reason, but yeah, that's one of them.
All right. Well, this is a nice page. I mean,
Yes.
I've actually read the Perez JLA issues just because of Perez's artwork in it. You know, I mean, he transcends publishers. You know, for me, that all, you know, I read Teen Titans. I really enjoyed JLA. You know, his work just draws you in, which is you know, other than John Byrne, I can't think of too many artists that would definitely back in the day that got me to read DC books. But this is a good example. And I assume there's got to be, what do we got here? Yeah, I knew there'd be some bits on this one. 7 bits. Now, Con Edison presents Adventures with DC Superheroes. Now, is this I think we've seen, you had something from this artist before? Or
this is what you helped us figure out. We had this.
Oh, that's what it was.
We could not find anything about this. I came to you. You put us in contact with the artist. They told us what it was.
That's right.
Yeah. This we probably had, definitely had it during last auction cycle and bumped it. So we had this a good 5-6 months to find out what it really was, and it turned out to be a published cover. So again, good that we waited and found this out.
Right. I can't even remember how I found their website or something, but
I think you sent an email somehow.
An email from a long time ago, and then
right.
they
I found
responded
the
like,
no, that's what it was. It was one person on CAF had a piece of their artwork, and I emailed them and said, do you still have that artist's contact information? They're like, I've got his email from 10 years ago if you want it. That's right.
and it worked.
Yeah.
That's incredible, really, at the end of the day. But yeah, you never know, right? Because this was an artist that I think that really didn't do a lot of work in comics, but
No.
lo and behold, on CAF there was a 1 or 2 pages of theirs, and you were able to track it down because of that. That's awesome.
And it's so obscure. There's no way. I mean, to put the dots together on this, I mean, it looks like it could be this, it could be that, but to be like a power company, you know, little comic that they gave away through a couple different, you know, electrical conglomerates or whatever. I don't know that we would have found it. So
yeah, I think there were 2 or 3 different companies issued that with different different logos, different imprints on the cover, which we then, as we did a deeper dive, knowing what it was, found these cover variants as well. But you know, when it came in, we loved it, loved the character combination, and it certainly looked like a cover or a pinup, and it turned out to be a cover.
Yeah, and so what was it? Min SQ, right there.
yes.
And there is, I believe, 1 piece of art on CAF, maybe 2, if I'm in.
If you do a deep dive, they did a few other covers. They did a few issues, I think. I mean, like you said, it was not much DC work, but they did more than this. But this is a great piece from them.
Oh, I agree. It's got to get some bids on it, though, but I'm sure it's just getting warmed up. Now, where are we going from here? Oh, Kurt Swan. I think I loaded up a few Kurt Swan pages. So you always have a few Superman pages. It wouldn't be a Hake's auction without them.
Yeah, I think we have maybe 6 this time. I think we're going to show 2, and from 2 different issues, Todd?
I think so. I think it's 2 different.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Swan, always consistent. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got, like I told you guys, I've got at least 5 or 6 Swan Superman pages in my collection. They're just, everyone has to have one, even if you're not a tremendous fan of Superman. Swan's like, you know, you want to have an example of Swan's work. It has to be something from Superman.
Do you know how long he worked on it?
Oh, man. No, I don't.
I mean, it seems like 15 years or something. Like, I mean, it's probably long, but I mean, it seems like there's a lot of Swan books out there, cover to cover.
Mm-hmm. Someone in the chat. I'm hoarding the Swan. I am not. There are a few people who are hoarding Swan artwork that I've seen on Cap. There's some people who have like 30, 40 pages because it's affordable and there's so much of it out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so what this is from issue 394. But the last couple panels here were fun. You get a great classic Superman image there at the end. And, heck, all of these are great.
Oh, Sean, he's here in spirit. Swan worked from 1948 to 1986. So a long time.
Colin says there's several dozen pages of Min's artwork on Cap. I don't know how that. I swear I only found one because I emailed the one guy that I didn't try like a dozen times. I must have, maybe I searched wrong or something, but I know I only could find one person who had it, and I emailed that one.
You'll have to contact the administrator to see what's wrong with that search.
I am. Well, the funny thing is we don't allow you to search on single letters. So when there's an S in there, I mean,
I can see that. Yeah.
They could throw something off, but I'm more savvy than that when I do the searches. So, but hey, Colin spends more time on Cap than I do. He is our editor. So,
if there are any other questions people have, Sean will text me the answers. So please keep them coming.
Well, I see that someone in here is saying, Billy, where's my boy Billy? Maybe I should be bidding on this one, right? Because Billy's all over this one. He gets God bless Superman there at the end too. And Billy's safe. So, all right. Where are we at with this? It's got a couple bids on it too.
Yeah.
Swan did an Aquaman. Yeah, he probably did. This one's a fun page. Now it's a half a page because it's one of those pages with a half an ad on it, but it's from Hawk and Dove, and it's Steve Ditko, unmistakably Steve Ditko,
Yes.
and an end page on top of all of that. I mean, look at this thing. I don't. It almost doesn't even matter what it's from. The art's fantastic, and it's it screams Ditko, and I don't know if I don't know. Who knows where it'll end, but it's like it's not going to be a Spidey page, and it's not but it should do fairly well. But I mean, I think there should be a lot of interest in this one.
Yeah.
This came from that one last minute collection, right? Yeah, it did.
Yeah. What was funny was I think that consignor had 3 different pages that are these DC half-page ad pages.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Metamorpho that's like that, and Hawkman.
Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have that one coming up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he had an interesting eye, an interesting collection that was signed.
Well, and I'm sure if these were bought, back in the day, a half page like this was probably a couple dollars on someone's table.
In the 70s, yeah, it would have been.
Probably was. It was probably that people probably passed up on it because they wanted a full page, and this guy lucked out and still got it.
When you could buy covers for $75 at those 70s conventions, this is a $2 to $5 piece on the table. Yeah.
Half price. So I don't blame them. But what do you got? A couple bids on it so far? No, this one should do. It's going to do well. I mean, at the end, it's perfect. I mean, it has everything you want. I mean, Ditko drew. I mean, street. People in street clothes really well, right? I mean, think of Spider-Man work. I mean, Spidey on page is great, but he did all the characters wonderfully. So this is just indicative of what you'd want from his work. I mean, he drew a lot of weird things in his time, especially later in his career, right? And so this is kind of like right era, right kind of character looks and everything.
Sure.
I'd take it as a first Ditko page. All right, so Hawkman, Murphy Anderson. Let's see, let me get there. There we go.
I forgot about this page. Great page.
Yeah.
Signed Thanks, Murphy. That
Yeah.
helps. He listened to Todd. He figured he would, just mark his
That's
page.
right.
I was a little, when I first was looking at it, I thought the lion was talking or thinking, but I'm glad it's Hawkman, because in a DC comic you never know. It could be the lion that's thinking. Not trying to put DC down, but everybody knows that's my hang up. But this is so not a bad page. I mean, I love Murphy Anderson. I have nothing in my collection by Murphy Anderson, so it's a gap there. But no, this is not a bad page at all. Crowning the King of Beasts.
Yeah, he's in every panel. It's a great page. Yeah, great page.
Well, we have a few Hawkman fans out there. I know, Marcus. I figured you're going to point out the lion gap in there. I was trying to get away from it before you said anything. But yes, the last panel there was a lion gap. I saw it. I avoided it.
You have more Aquaman fans than you do.
Everybody gets, Aquaman is the talk of the town here on the channel. So
we almost got through the entire time. Sorry.
Yes, we almost made it. So what do we got here? I didn't even look at the title on it before I loaded it up. Captain Action from Gil Kane and Wally Wood.
Yeah, that little no-name Wally Wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what year is this? Captain Adam.
This is 68, 69, December 68, January 69.
Okay.
So sort of the tail end of the Captain Action craze.
Mm-hmm.
Started in 66?
66.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Any Wally Wood is awesome. Really awesome. Yeah, it's a great page.
It's a chapter splash, or a chapter page. We can't call it a splash.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it, I never read any Captain Action. Although the cover makes you, when I see that, I'm thinking, well, I should be reading.
The covers are great. I don't
cool.
know that. Yeah, I've never read any, and it was short-lived. Tied with, was this like a dozen issues?
I don't even think it made it to that. I think it's maybe
Yeah.
a half dozen-ish issues, something like that.
It really is weird that it came out that late, because by this time Captain Action was getting phased out. So like the toys weren't on the shelves, the comic book hits the stores, and no one cares at that point. So.
Well, and it's also odd because Captain Action, the costumes cross channels, so you had Marvel and DC costumes because licensing was different back then. So for DC to do the comic, just on Captain Action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, maybe they just didn't have the, the ability to keep the timing right, as far as like the
maybe.
It really should have hit as soon as the toys, and it didn't.
But these are super Gil Kane. I mean, you look at any of it, it screams Gil Kane. It's just his style everywhere.
Right. What do we got here? Let's open these two. So this is story number 1. Scott McCloud art, comic book cover. Let's take a look.
Yeah, this is all Todd to talk about because this was quite a bit of research.
Yeah, this is an interesting, issue. It's a one shot. It's maybe a little bigger than a treasury book. It's big. The art's big, and it's actually like the right size for this book.
Yeah, almost like the Silver Age 2-up.
I think Scott McCloud, I think, was just looking for, an outlet to do a book that was just pure battle, pure mayhem. I had never read it before we got this, and it comes with a reading copy, and it's just pretty brilliant as a concept, and it's just sort of a super villainy type guy gets infuriated and just goes after sort of the local Superman type, and it's just one continuous fight from the first to the last, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, there it is. There it is in person.
So you can see the size of it. It's big.
Okay,
there's the book. So yeah,
it is like a treasury size, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is an interesting size to draw it in. I mean, obviously, he was somehow motivated to want to work at that scale. So Tim said something about, what was this about?
Yeah. So just show him on your screen how you blow it up if you could, if he's watching.
Yeah, because when you click on the image, you get to here, and then right here, you can switch to the larger size from there.
If you're on a phone, it's a little different, but if you're on a computer, that's how you do it, Tim.
Yeah, and you can switch back, or if you just go to the next image, it resets it back to the default for kind of a full screen size.
Yeah. So
well, we also have the full mock-up of this issue, which is
that's next.
That's the next
right
slide.
there.
Yeah.
And that's 1-to-1 size, right? The mock-up.
The mock-up is I believe that's the actual side. He literally he drew the whole book like twice. Mm-hmm. This is taped together and it unfolds like a roadmap. It's all connected. I've never seen anything like it. It's really neat, and it's all complete. He could have published this, if he didn't want the artist type.
I mean, it's really like a prototype. You don't necessarily use that term with comic books, but that's what this is. This is a prototype issue of what will be published.
Yeah. Right. And you can see, like, literally page to page, it's just the villain type persona just screaming destroy the whole time.
I've never seen the issue before, but
yeah, I think this was something that Gary Guzzo was heavily involved with, which is why he has the cover and he had this in his archive.
Yeah.
No, well, it's cool. You're right. I mean, I can't say I've seen anybody work on whether we want to call them, something for production or set of prelims in quite that way before. So that is a different way of doing it, but maybe that was their way of pitching it, right?
That's what I would think. That to explain it, he just needed to show the whole thing, and that's why maybe he did that.
Mm-hmm.
I see your concerns, Timothy. The hover over image, we're working on making that larger in the next website phase. So if you'd like, we can mail you a catalog. It will show you all the images of everything that's there. That can help out as well.
We also have the virtual catalog on a website that you can
flip through to see everything
and blow up and search and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Again, I know the hover over image that you're asking about could be bigger, and we are working on that.
Is that on the list page?
When you're looking at the list or the tiles of the images, if you tile them and you hover over, it gets a little bit bigger. And there's a different file size if you want to get technical, but yeah, it's just not yes.
I worked on a crawl on your site recently and ran into the same issue, but I found my way around it. Because the images are small.
I had a note to ask you about that. So the information you're looking for, you were able to find. We don't need to do anything else. You got what you needed.
I did. No. I figured it out. What I wanted to do and how to get the results. And if you go on to CAF, you'll see in the art for sale, seller / dealer section that we have. I've got all your inventory imported there. Yep. No, and I know you guys had select pieces too, but we wanted to start doing it regularly for you. And I didn't tell you guys about it, but I did. I set it up a couple weeks ago. But I ran into that one issue where I was like, oh man, I wish but I figured it out. I just go to this page and get the bigger image. So it's all good. So what is this from? This is from
Zot, also McLeod.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we had the cover to issue number 1, and we had a double page splash. But these are the final 2, correct? From Guzzo. Yeah. So if you want Zot art, which does not come up often, this is all we'll have from the Guzzo collection.
Yeah, that cover ended up on CAF. I was happy to see that. I didn't read Zot either, unfortunately. That's cool. That's got a bid to get it started.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one other page. Let's see.
Is this a double page? Yeah, DPS.
Yeah.
Double page splash.
I like his style. I mean, there's something very fun and definitely
There's some good perspective stuff going on with the ceiling, and then with the villain and his sort of obelisk thing. So it's a lot of interesting angles and things going on in the art itself.
And he had no problem writing the title and issue number and page.
Correct.
Right where we want them. So no, that's nice. And you get a monkey in it too, for those of you who collect artwork with chimps, whatnot in them. And a bit on that one as well. Oh, I got some Al Jaffe Mad Magazine foldouts. Let's take a look at those.
Yes, we had a couple of these over the last year. The last time we had one from one collection. These are the final two from that. So
you can tell it's going to be like a bus, right? Yeah. There we go. The Love Mobile. Oh my goodness. Classic. Loveliest accommodation. Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, after his passing not so long ago, I mean, I think these they were pretty desirable before that, but now, yeah, everybody would like to get one. And this one's kind of fun in a lot of different ways, not just because it's the Love Mobile. The colors on it are unique. I think this one's a really desirable piece. I like it.
For anybody that appreciates all of the, rather than just showing the art, we show the pages or the covers, or like in this case, the page and the folded page. Todd does all of that. After the catalog goes to the printer, Todd goes through all the art and adds all of these photos, which for me,
it takes a lot of time and research.
For me as a collector, I like to see all that. So,
and with these, what I do is I go in and digitally just do the overlay so you can see what it would look like if it was folded, just so you can see what the final picture is. If you were a persnickety collecting kid like I was, you would take your Mad Magazine and you would sort of just gently overlay it without putting a crease in it. So that was always the challenge.
Oh yeah. No, if I wasn't buying it, I did it at the at the drugstore while I was
right.
hoping that the owner wouldn't walk down the aisle while I was bending the magazine a little bit. Well, I want to see what the other one. Let's see what the second one here is. Let's see, what is it? Some trees. Oh, nice. Yeah, nothing like a good nursery rhyme. Let's see. Oh, that's fun. Perfect. Yeah, it's like, what came first?
Humpty Dumpty becomes a scrambled egg in this one.
I love it.
And then this was an interesting one because this was the snappy answers to stupid questions kind of motif. So it came with other little lines, little taglines.
Mm-hmm. So that wasn't on an overlay or anything, huh? They just did it in a different way.
It was in the art.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And both of these have bids on them to get them started too, so that's always good to see. All right, we're getting down to the last 4 items. So where are we going with these? You got a high grade Amazing Spider-Man 15. Oh, we should have warned everybody, right? We're going into the non-art section.
Leave now if you don't want to hear about things that aren't art. No, please stay.
Just a few things.
We have it's only 4. I think there's about 400 graded comics this time. And almost every Marvel Silver Age key. And this one we want to spotlight because it's a very nice looking 7.5. Should be somewhere in the $35,000-$40,000 range. So, not cheap, but not a 6-figure book that's going to break the bank. So if you're looking for a really solid, nice looking copy of a major Marvel Silver Age key, this is a nice book.
Yeah, it is. Very
You
cool.
made a video for it. You post these up on YouTube, right? Oh, yeah, there you go. Watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Wise. Very smart thing to do.
Yeah, one of our newest employees, John, is taking over our social media, and he's been doing because we also have a sister company, Sapphire Studios, that has done videos as well. But John's taking over doing that in house, and this is another one that some of the Marvel props have it. We have some props from Salem's Lot that has a video, so we're trying to do more of that as time permits. You know, it's so much time goes into just getting the auction together and getting the catalog to the printer. It all takes time and manpower. So,
well, the number one Marvel fan is a big prop collector and Marvel prop collector. I know.
Yeah, we met at OAX for the first time. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we have, I don't know what, half dozen, 10 Marvel props this time.
Yeah, then other non-Marvel props too. There's
but the
Harry
Marvel
Potter
props
and what else? Grinch, Harry Potter, and what else?
stuff from Heroes TV show. There's a little mix of things, but there's some interesting Marvel props this time, and I think I have two that we're going to look at. This being one of them.
Yeah, the wasp helmet, and there's one other.
What was the other thing?
The quiver.
The quiver. That thing is big and heavy. It is awesome in person.
So he had to be in good shape to have this thing on him all the time.
Yeah, I'm surprised at what it was made out of. I mean, I don't think they let him run around with it because it was I forget what it's made out of. It's almost like a resin or
this is like a resin composite thing. Now, I would imagine they would have did something in latex if he has to jump around a lot, but
he does. Yeah, this is for still shots only. Yeah, very, very, very.
Yeah, and it has a couple arrow tips in the bottom.
Yeah, very cool.
Same consigner, I would imagine.
I'm not sure. I think there might be two consigners on the Marvel props, or am I wrong about that, Kelly?
Yes, that sounds right. Yes, right.
So now your big ticket item is the guitar, the Kurt Cobain guitar.
Yeah. So this is on the front cover of the catalog. This is probably going to end up as the big piece of the auction. It's slightly ahead of the Boba Fett prototype right now. At $100,000. So this is in January of 1991. Kurt played and obviously destroyed this guitar at a small club, and this was well before Nevermind came out. So again, this concert was
3 months.
January. Nevermind comes out in September. So they were a little-known local band when this happened, and then within a year, Nevermind was the number one album. So it's early, it's historic. The person who got this at the show was also a musician. He was actually at one point in a band that was signed to Sub Pop, same as Nirvana. He took this, he gifted it to a friend in Oregon who was also in a band and had a record store, and she had it for all of these years and has decided to sell it. We have, I won't do it justice just talking about it. So if you're interested, go to the listing. A great description was written. Again, go back to Scott Muscle, who did this and procured this for us. We also have a great half an hour, I think, interview with those two people about the history of the guitar and the show and everything. And you can also go to YouTube and watch this actual performance of Nirvana and see him destroying this guitar. So it's as documented as any Nirvana instrument that's ever come up for sale.
If I'm not mistaken, it's the only. Well, there's very few guitars exist that are known where the footage of it being destroyed exists. There are other destroyed guitars out there, but not with this much, just ironclad history and provenance and like the actual moment. I mean, it's being photographed right there of him hitting with the hammer. It was. It's pretty surreal, honestly, to hold it and to. I mean, it's right behind you right now, Alex. It's pretty cool. So, yeah.
I did watch the video. It was very informative too.
Yeah.
He said something like somebody once told him that they had it, and he wanted to know if he could get his strap back or something.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Kurt knew the guitar was in someone else's hands. He didn't care. He just wanted the strap. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it was a fun video to watch because I mean,
And if you're into that whole grunge scene, Nirvana specifically, we not only have this guitar, we've got some rare posters, we've got mock-up, which would be original art for one of a classic poster. We have signed items by Kurt. We have a selection of vinyl records from across their different albums. So it's a pretty interesting section, but certainly capped off with the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess I missed out on all the movie props you had. Everybody's talking about the other Marvel ones, so I'll have to check them out once we're done here.
Yeah, there's a Loki dagger, there's Thing arms and a head.
There's a mock-up of Captain America 1 comic book.
That was very good. Oh yeah, speaking of Captain America, You're welcome, Sean.
So if you go to the website and there's a section that says browse all categories, there is a Marvel prop category.
Okay.
As I say it, Sean's sending me messages. Go to bed, Sean. Jeez.
The internet will be better in the morning, Sean.
No, you're right, Sean. It's the most fascinating book of all time. Prop comic.
Also, we have the 20th, right? The 20th is the evening when these will start closing.
9 p.m. Eastern time on the 20th. Yep.
The day before that is a lot of the political and
historical and sports.
Historical.
Yeah. Yep, that'll be next Tuesday is that, and then Wednesday will be the art. Let's not forget the action figures, right, Sean? Wherever you are. No, but seriously, if that is your thing, Star Wars is loaded as always. We have rare Indiana Jones and Turtles and He-Man and Joe.
It might be the most amount of prototypes, or at least the most interesting amount of prototypes we've ever had of pre-production and prototype items. Some first at auction, some very, very coveted pieces in that world are in this auction, so.
And that leads up to January.
We will, there'll be a unveiling from a galaxy a long time ago.
No, I'm talking about before we do that. I meant January, Jeff Jacob. If we're talking about action figures, yeah.
Oh, I mean that's what only thing I'm thinking about right now is Jeff Jacob. Jeff Jacob. There'll be 500 lots of this first auction for the Jeff Jacob Star Wars and action figure auction. Goes online early January, ends 22nd, I believe, is the date we decided.
Wednesday.
Almost done with that now, and then.
But that is one of the finest production action figure collections ever assembled. Star Wars. If people remember a few years ago, what is 5 or 6 years ago, probably at this point, we offered the Russell Brand Star Wars collection, which was the be all end all at that point, and this just kills that. This is an amazing collection of almost every Star Wars production figure, U.S., foreign, and biggest selling point is almost everything is AFA graded and is the highest or among the highest of every single example.
Right. Yeah, it's
So,
you can go on and on. It's
you could call it, I hate to compare, but let's say Mile High comic kind of caliber as far as what you're getting. I mean, it's
there's a lot happening in January. That's happening in January. OAX is happening in January. But if you're into Star Wars action figures, do not miss that out on this. There will be a catalog. If you're bidding with us, you will get one. If you're not, just reach out to us. We'll send you one.
Yeah.
So,
And for anybody that is going to be at OAX, they will want to stop by our booth because
we will have, like I was saying before, a very impressive unveiling of a brand new collection of original art that is all I will say. That is.
I got to think about it. I know there'll be a lot of interested people in the audience to see the pieces that are there.
Yes, first to. I mean, it's an incredible story, which I will not get into now. We will unveil this there and then talk about it more in person if you'd like to talk about it. But it's
I think it's great that you're doing it. We're telling all
essentially
the art sellers to bring stuff that's new, and you guys are going to be debuting some pieces that'll be from an upcoming auction at OEX for the first time. I mean, it's just fantastic that it's going to leave. It gives everybody a reason to stop by the booth to see it, and then give us some things that we can write about after the show is over too, and and do some press releases and stuff, and that's everything we want OEX to be, right? An opportunity to just wow everybody who's in attendance and just make everybody regret that they didn't come out to the show because they didn't get to see it first, like everybody who made it. I appreciate that.
Well, and keep in mind, we'll have two. Right now, the plan is to have two tall display cases. One will have this art. One is still work in progress. So for anyone out there interested in consigning, we would be happy to display said art at our booth. Give Kelly a call and see what we can do for you. And that's whether you've consigned with other auction houses before or not. And even if you have and you're happy with those, doesn't mean you want to be happy with someone else. So all I say is let us be in the conversation, see what we can do for you, and you will not be disappointed.
Yeah.
What's your email address, Kelly?
It is M Kelly. M is my last name, McLean, and then my first name, Kelly, at Hakes.com. If that is not memorable, comicartlive.com also works. So that one might be easier to remember. Comicartlive.com. Email that; it will find its way to me.
That's what we put in all the mailings. I think is comicartlive.com.
Yeah.
No, that one.
And the easiest is Hakes@Hakes.com, and that still gets to us as well. So no excuse not to reach out to us. It's we're making it too easy for you.
You can send us a tweet, Facebook message, however you use it. Just
Kelly, give them your cell phone right now.
All right. What?
Don't do that, Kelly.
Sean, my number. What's your number, Sean? Hey, tell me.
Yeah, exactly. Sean needs another call. So, well, hey guys, fun as always, and I'm looking forward to the auction coming up and getting to see some, if not all of you, maybe at OEX after the first of the year, and just you guys have been great partners for CAF, and I enjoy getting to hang out with you guys here. We don't get to see each other often enough because of the auction schedule, but anytime you guys need anything, I'm here to help out.
Yeah, no, we know that for sure. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, listen, everybody, we appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. And, when the auction closes, it's going to be next Wednesday evening. So, follow any links that I've got in here in the show description to check out the auctions that they've got going on right now. And hit up mkelly@hakes.com if you've got any questions or consignment questions out there. All right, everybody, have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you again soon.